are ITV censoring Mr. Brexit, Nigel Farage? Well, my fellow GBNews presenter has already made a big impact in I'm a Celebrity, but it now looks like ITV are limiting his airtime. Footage of Nigel talking about his friendship with Donald Trump was cut from last night's show. Well, joining me now is Christine Hamilton, who finished third, of course, in the first series of I'm a Celebrity. Oh, you've got your hat on. Beautiful. Look at that. Textbook. You've got your prop. So, Christine, you've been in the jungle. You've been down under. You've had a few rumbos in the jungle. Do you think that this kind of nefarious censorship is possible?
Oh, 100% possible. I was asked before I went in, we all had to have psychological tests. Can you believe it? And what are you afraid of? I said, well, in this state, it's not, this, that, and the other. I said, there's one thing I'm worried about, and that is the editing, because it's all in the editing. They are entirely responsible as to how you come across. Obviously, they can't make you do something you don't do, but they can cut out things that you do, and they can trim their sails, as it were. So that's what worried me, and I'm perfectly certain it worried Nigel. We know what his game plan is. Anyone who knows him knew anyway, but then he admitted it. He wanted to get as much airtime as possible. He wanted to do the trials because he knew that would give him the bulk of the airtime. Big mistake to do that. He obviously naively thought that a little whisper wouldn't be heard. The other thing which I think one has to remember, which I think is really very sweet about all of them in there, but obviously Nigel in particular, do you know he doesn't know who the Foreign Secretary is? Because that happened after he went in. He, if he was asked, would still think it was cleverly. So I think that's a sort of glorious bit of joy. He's in blissful ignorance of all that. But yes, of course they can. He won't know, of course, that they have cut out whatever he said about Trump. We only have this, what's the word, the employee who says that it's been cut out. We only have their word for it, so we don't really know what's been cut out. But yes, the editing. I think they've got their knickers in a bit of a twist, ITV, to be honest. I mean, they have paid over the odds, for goodness sake. $1.5 million is just nonsense, Nigel obviously said, yes, please, but he would have done it for less than that. And then they apparently are losing viewers because people are boycotting it. I mean, they're in trouble when Rishi Sunak's hammering skills take priority over Nigel in the jungle. So I think they're a little bit desperate as to know what to do. So I don't know if it was a riotous exchange about Trump. Why not leave it in? So I don't know. But yes, it's the editing. That's the concern.
Concerned about, well, two things. Is it because they just don't want him to win? They don't want him to have a sniff, so therefore they're just kind of airbrushing him out? Or is it something more than that? Is it this revelation within there that he said, actually, I don't know, and maybe I will return as a future politician. Maybe I will become the leader of the Conservative Party. And suddenly they're thinking, oh, my gosh, we're going to be relaunching Nigel Farage's political career. He mentioned it first in the jungle, in that room. We're going to have egg all over our face. We better keep this guy quiet because that would be a nightmare because we're all lefties.
I'm terribly sorry, Martin, but your sound, I couldn't hear any of that. I only know you finished speaking because your lips have stopped moving. So I can't answer the question. I don't quite know what to say.
Can you hear me now? Is it because...
no,
can you hear me
no
at all?
Sound.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
But that's what I think we should be asking. That's the question. Is it because they just don't want him to win? Is it because they want to just phase him out? Is he becoming too popular? Is the fact he's getting pummeled in the tests and the Bush-Tucker trials actually making him more popular? He's answering all the questions from people like French Fred. Now, they have a pop at him like a barroom bore about Brexit, and Nigel just bats it away like a cat with a mouse because, of course, he's so used to it. But I wonder if the bigger concern is they do fear a Farage return to politics. And just look domestically, what's happening in Britain. The Conservative Party is totally rudderless. They're about to be sunk by immigration by the looks of it. So I wonder if we can get Christine back now. Can you hear me now, darling?
I can.
Can you hear me now? Good. So my question was this, Christine. Are they trying to censor him out of it because they don't want him to win the contest itself? Or is it something more than that? And that is, they fear a political return to Nigel on the other side of the jungle. He's already announced that in the jungle he might consider getting back to be a future Conservative leader. And ITV, you know, the liberal lovies, the lefties at ITV are clutching their pearls, thinking, oh my gosh, we're relaunching Nigel's political career. We've got to put a kibosh on this sharpish.
Well, they're pretty stupid if they didn't realise he was going to come over well. We don't have to know a great deal about Nigel. You know, he was obviously going to sail through all those trials, wasn't he? You know, he's not stupid. The way he did that eating trial and that, even worse to me, that drinking trial, he just sailed through them. So they must have known he wasn't going to flunk them all. Just like Matt Hancock did all the trials brilliantly. Not that I'm comparing Nigel in any sense to Matt Hancock. So I wouldn't have thought they're too worried about that long term. They're worried about their programme. This has been a massive flagship programme for ITV for 22 years. I was in 2002. So 22 years. It's been a real money spinner. It's brought in the adverts. It's brought in the viewers. It's brought in everybody voting madly. And if they've lost that, for whatever reason, then that's really what would be exercising them. I never thought that Nigel could win, because if you look back at the people who win, you have to be very nice to win. I wasn't nice enough to win. Tony Blackburn won mine, and Matt Hancock certainly wasn't nice enough to win. Bill Scott, the Lioness, Christopher Biggins won. They're the sort of people who win. It's the really nice people. And Nigel doesn't quite fit the category any more than I did. So, but I would have thought he could easily come third or fourth, if not second. But I don't think he'll actually take the crown. OK, Christine Hamilton, thank you for joining us on the show. We got over the technical issues, but actually, if this is true, people are saying here, thousands and thousands of the comments, they're saying if Nigel is being censored out of this and airbrushed, it's going to make people more likely to vote for him, so perhaps the entire thing will backfire anyway. Well, you get lots more on that story on our website, and thanks to you, GBNews.com is the fastest growing national news website in the country.